Have you ever looked at an old brick building and just wondered, how? How is it still standing after all these years? Well, it's definitely not just about stacking a few blocks. It's a really ancient craft, kind of like a dance between raw strength and absolute precision. So today, let's pull back the curtain and break down how to build a wall that can genuinely stand the test of time. You know, every single great structure, whether it's a simple garden wall or a huge cathedral, it all started like this, with one single brick. This is really where it all begins, mixing the power of the material with the skill of the builder. It's a careful, methodical process where every single piece has to be perfect. And of course, it's almost never a one-person show. The best results, the really strong stuff, that comes from solid preparation, great teamwork, and everyone sticking to a process where every little detail is important. So, are you ready to get into the fundamentals? Because this is more than just learning to build a wall. It's like a masterclass in precision. Okay, let's dive in, right from the very beginning. Right, before even one brick gets laid, the most important work is already happening. I want you to think of it this way. The final strength of that wall is a direct result of how much care you put into the prep work. Get this first part right, and you're setting the whole project up for success. Every craft has its essential tools, right? For a mason, these are the big ones. The trowel is what you use to slather on the mortar, sure. But the spirit level and the plumb bob, those are the real guardians of accuracy. They're what makes sure every layer is perfectly flat and the whole wall is standing perfectly straight. Look, let's be real. Any construction site has its dangers. You gotta think about falling debris, dust in the air. The risks are just part of the job. That is why your personal protective equipment, or PPE, is non-negotiable. It's your first and your best line of defense out there. You know, a clean, organized site is a safe site, and it's an efficient one too. Having a special spot just for mixing mortar keeps it from getting contaminated, which keeps it strong. And you have got to protect your cement from getting wet, because once it's wet, it's useless. It's all about planning ahead so your workflow is smooth from the moment the materials arrive. Okay, let's talk about the unsung hero of the whole operation, the mortar. It's so much more than just a glue holding things together. It's actually the chemical bond that turns a loose pile of bricks into one solid structure. If you get this mixed wrong, believe me, the whole wall is compromised from the start. So what's in it? Well, it's a surprisingly simple recipe, but it creates some powerful chemistry. You've got cement, which is the binder. Then you have sand, which gives it all its body and stops it from shrinking as it dries. And finally, water. That's the magic ingredient that kicks off the chemical reaction, called hydration, which gives the mortar its incredible strength. Now, what's really amazing is that the key to all that strength often comes down to a simple ratio. For most general walls, a mix of 1 part cement to 4 parts sand is a super common and really effective recipe. It's the perfect balance to make sure there's enough cement to create that strong chemical bond, but also to create a mortar that's workable and easy to use. So how do you mix it? Well, it all depends on the size of the job. For a small patch or repair, mixing by hand in a wheelbarrow is totally fine. But if you're building a whole wall, a machine mixer is pretty much essential. It saves time, and it makes sure every batch is consistent. And here's a pro tip. With a machine, always mix the dry ingredients together first, for about a minute before you even think about adding water. All right, this is it. This is the moment of truth. The first course, that's the very first layer of bricks, is without a doubt the most critical step of the entire build. Everything, the straightness, the level, the final position of the wall, it is all determined right here and now. But wait, before that first brick goes down, you have to install a damp-proof course, or DPC. The easiest way to think about it is like a little raincoat for the feet of the wall. It's a simple waterproof sheet that physically stops moisture from the ground from creeping up into your wall and causing all sorts of damp problems down the line. So setting out is just the term for taking the architect's plan and making it real. Use string lines and really careful measurements to basically draw the footprint of the wall on the foundation. This makes sure it's perfectly aligned and square right from the get-go. Okay, so we've got a perfect first course laid down. Now we can finally start building up. The focus from here on out is all about maintaining that initial precision course after course, while also using specific techniques to build in strength as we go. You might think all these different brick patterns are just about making the wall look nice, but they're actually little feats of engineering. A stretcher is the long face of the brick.
and a header is the short end. By weaving these together in patterns, like the classic English bond, you're staggering all the vertical joints. This distributes the weight evenly and basically locks the whole wall together into one solid, super strong unit.
A wall that isn't plumb is a wall that is failing, period. Using a plumb bob or a spirit level, a mason is constantly checking that the wall is rising perfectly vertical, straight up and down. And this is not just about looking good, it's absolutely crucial for the safety and the load-bearing capacity of the wall.
So just as important as being perfectly vertical is being perfectly horizontal. That's where level and gauge come in. You're constantly checking for level, of course, but you're also maintaining a consistent gauge. That just means every single layer of brick and mortar is exactly the same height. It's that kind of relentless precision that makes for a stable, professional-looking wall. The wall is finally up, but the job is not over yet, not by a long shot. These final steps are what will protect the wall from the weather, give it that clean, polished look, and really guarantee that it's going to last for a very long time. All right, we're in the home stretch. First is jointing, which is where you shape the mortar joints while they're still soft to give them a nice, weather-resistant finish. Then you give the wall a good cleaning. And after all that, it's time for the final and maybe the most overlooked step of all, just being patient. So here's the crucial point. You absolutely cannot rush the cure. That waiting period, usually about 24 to 48 hours, isn't just downtime. It's when that chemical hydration process we talked about really works its magic. It's when the mortar hardens and finally reaches the full strength it was designed for. If you skip this, you compromise the entire structure. So there you have it. From the careful prep work all the way to the patient curing process, building a wall is really a testament to precision and planning. So the next time you walk past a brick building, I want you to take a closer look. Because you're not just seeing a wall, you're seeing a story of true craftsmanship, a structure built to last, one perfectly placed brick at a time. Makes you wonder, what other everyday structures will you look at differently now?